What's going on, guys? I'm back. This is, I guess, part 3, beginning recording the song, Pustules, as we discussed in the previous episodes. So now we have Reaper, my digital audio workshop or recording program for, easier explanation. So what we're going to do is this first part of the video, we are going to be inserting the drums and the bass. I exported them as MIDI files in the last video, and we'll be importing them and moving everything where it's supposed to go, making some minor changes to make them sound as close to a finished product as we can. And then either later on in this video or in the next one, we'll record the guitars. Yeah, so we'll get started. Let me just make sure I've got this open here. Okay. So, the shortcuts for Reaper are a little bit different than some other programs. So, the first thing I need to do is I open up Guitar Pro. I see that I've got 120 beats per minute at 4/4. So I'm going to hit Shift-C, set the tempo. It's already at 120, it's already at 4/4. Perfect. Now I'm going to click on the line that I want to insert whichever MIDI file I'm going to be doing. So in this case it's going to be drums first. I'm going to pick a spot, hit the Insert button, INS on my keyboard. I'm going to go to the Human Disease and insert Pustules drums. Cool. So now I'm going to go back to where I inserted that file, go down to the line that the distorted bass is on, do the same process, insert Pustules bass, and then done. So now, this section really is, or this part of what I'm doing here is really just, you kind of have to know your program. So these are all of the notes that the bass hits. Problem is that where all of these are is not going to be read by the virtual instrument. So a virtual instrument is exactly what it sounds like. It's an instrument that is only on the computer, and it uses MIDI inputs, MIDI notes to play what you want it to play. So in this case, I'm going to change the velocity to 127, which is all the way up. That doesn't change the volume of the instrument, it changes how hard the note is actually played with this virtual instrument. Only certain velocities do certain things. You'll see later when I go back through, I change velocities on some of the stuff, and I'll explain that when I get to that point. But to give you an example of what it sounds like, skip forward a bit. Alright, so now we'll go on to the drums. Now, same kind of thing here, you kind of got to know your program. You'll see over on this side I have a whole bunch of stuff written in. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to move myself over to this side so you can actually see. And yeah, you all get to see my ridiculously long hair today because I'm not wearing a hat. So, with drums, the loudest I go, the velocity is 125. This is sensitive to actual velocity inputs. 127 maxed out is like way too hard to hit, but 124 it starts getting too soft, so I like to be around 125. So yeah, so all the words over here coordinate to where the notes on the drum kit are going to be played, I guess is the best way to say it. And like I said, this is really, you have to know your program pretty well to be able to do this, because none of these notes, see how this note is on this line here and there's nothing here? You kind of have to guess if you don't already know what each thing is, and that's why when I write stuff in the in Guitar Pro, I just use that stuff as a reference point. But because I've been doing this with this program for as long as I have, I don't really have that much of an issue figuring out where stuff goes. So I know that this line here, that's Tom 4, Tom 3, Tom 2, Tom 1. So I'm going to take that, drag that down to Tom 1, zoom out, go to the next line, that's Tom 2, go to the next line, that's Tom 3, and then that last line is Tom 4. Alright, so this one's always pretty close. It's crash 3 hold, but I want it on just crash 3. So I'm going to select all those, move it down. The symbol that starts on crash 1 is actually not crash 1, it's China. Now mind you, if you guys are doing this on your own, it's not going to be even remotely similar to this. If it is, that's awesome. If not, do not be surprised. This is set up specifically for what I do, what I use. So, like I said, do not be upset, frustrated, surprised if you go to do this and it's not exactly the same. Because that's okay. Then I know that this is going to be hi-hats, hi-hat 3. That I could change because that's hi-hat 3, hi-hat 2. Each one is progressively more open than the next, so here's hi-hat 1, hi-hat 2, hi-hat 3. Which is nice, because like I said, you can change the overall sound. So now, the instrument, or the one that's on crash 1 is on crash 1. Now this one I know is Ride Bell, which I like using probably a lot more than I should. But it be what it be. And then that is, I know, Splash 1. If I really wanted to, I could do all the rides as Splash 2. But I like the difference between the two. So I think that's it, man. I think we're good. So we'll just play the drums and the bass for you guys to hear. Oh, that's right. I'm not done yet. Here I am being silly. So now, palm mute, palm mute. Because I know this is the da 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 da, and that's going to be note velocity 32, which in the virtual instrument explains that 32, or it's like 31 to a certain number. If you choose any of those, it'll make the palm mute note. So that works for me. I like doing that because palm muted bass in recordings, or at least in this virtual instrument, makes it sound so much better. Not that it sounds bad without it, it just sounds way better, way more realistic, and it makes me very happy. Now, typically with parts, when it's there's a part that's repeated like this, I'll just edit it once, copy and paste once I'm done, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So I know all of these lowest notes are palm muted. Because those are all the lowest note on there. And all the opens are muted here, which is the lowest note. So what I'm actually going to do is exactly what I was talking about before on what I haven't been doing. Cut all this. Copy. Because work smarter, not harder, you know? That should be it. Now we can listen. I think you guys are getting the point. We are back. New day, same clothes. Figured it makes for good continuity. I said I was lazy, but I lied. It's for continuity purposes. So today we're actually going to be doing the guitars. Last video kind of cut off abruptly at the end in the first section of this video, technically. Audio is all screwed up, so should be better now. And you're going to hear things the way I hear them. So when I record guitar, that's all I hear. I don't use any distortion on the computer, nothing like that. So I just play clean guitar. So I am going to pull up Guitar Pro on my other screen, just because I don't want it blocking the actual process here. Open up Pustules. Yep. So you'll see here that I quad track. So all that means is I have 2 left channels and 2 right channels. So I record the same thing at least 4 times. And
you should be good. So I'm gonna get going now. 3, 2, 1, record.
God, that stretch gets you if you do it over and over and over again. Yes. Yes, that many takes for a simple riff sometimes. I never said I was good. Too much stuff going on. Alright, so this next part, you really get to see me cheat. So, that little lead part, I did it in sections. Now you get to see me do things at half speed and then speed them up to 2 times speed. Yeah. Now you get to really see me be lazy. This way is easier. So, item processing. No, I don't want that. Item settings. Item properties. That's, jeez, I know this. Playback rate 2. I'm sure a lot of composers, producers, and mixing people and people that work in studios are gonna fucking hate me watching this, but I don't care. This is how I do it. That repeats twice as it is, and then it repeats 2 more times as a harmonized thing. So now I gotta do the harmony. And I've gotta do that, record that twice. Because there's only one side technically that it's gonna be on. So now I gotta freaking zoom in. Those tracks. You can't see what I'm doing, but that's okay. No! Stop recording. Jesus. Yeah. So with Guitar Pro, I have muted the bass and the drums, made them not visible. So now all I have to do is, or now all I can see, I can't even talk today, is the parts that I need to focus on. Excuse me for a moment while I touch this guy. Alright, so now I need the recorder so I can, click, you know what I mean. Oh, and I get to be lazy again. Do it from this side. Easier. Well, that's definitely got to be open. There's no way I'm going from 4 to 12. That's not happening. Now, this section. Let me see if I can remember this part.
that's it.
Let's listen to that transition. Actually, you know what? We'll listen to what we've got up to this point. Actually, you know what? No, we won't. We will not do that. Not yet. Let me get the... So the downfall of Guitar Pro 6 specifically is that if you have a file open, and you click on a track that is not visible at the moment when you have the multi-track view, if you want to view that specific track, it'll completely freeze and shut down the program. It's like, okay, I want to do just one simple thing and it just shuts down. Alright, bet. So now, oh yeah, it's this faster octave part. My favorites. Alright, it's the same thing over and over. That works for me. Alright, so now we gotta add that last lead part. That is 4 times speed. Some more cheating. Yay, cheating. Alright, so since we've got, honestly, at this point, most of the song already recorded. So since there's a lot of repeating in this song, or in actually most of my songs, because I kind of do that old school formulaic intro, verse, chorus, or intro, pre-verse, verse, chorus, pre-verse, verse, chorus, bridge or breakdown, solo, reintroduce either the verse or chorus, and end on another verse or chorus. I do it a lot. I do that a lot. And yeah, like I said, formulaic, repetitive, all those wonderful words. But like I said before, it works. It just works. So yeah, we've got the intro, then we've got verse, or pre-verse, verse, chorus, and then the same thing, and then breakdown and solo, and then yeah. So I'll just start from the pre-verse, I guess. Yeah, I think slowing down that, or mixing up the fast and slow like we did in the last video when we were writing the song, definitely made a good transition back into that pre-verse slower part. I think that was a good decision, for sure. Now I'm confident of that. So now it's just doing the breakdown and the solo, and then the song is done. Yeah. Oh, and it goes back into that slower part, that's right. And then the breakdown. With no lead, that's right. Goodness. I dropped my pick. What'll I ever do? Grab another one. Alright, so we've got all the open notes done. So now what I'm doing is I'm lining up everything, so when the song actually plays, it's not out of sync with itself. So all of the guitar notes and bass notes and drum hits and all that will be lined up for the breakdown, so it's not going to be all weird. In some virtual instruments, you have the ability to humanize the playing. What that does is move some of the notes slightly out of sync with the rhythm, as no human alive is always perfectly on time. I'm effectively doing the opposite, but not to an extreme. You will hear in the final product that although the notes are mostly in sync with each other, there is still enough variation in the recording to not sound mechanical and stagnant. It's just meant to add a little clarity and punch. Alright, so the beginning of these sections here hits a little like too hard, like it clips. So what I'm going to do, or what I just did now, is I extended the front end a little bit and added this little, oh my god, what's the fade in? So it still hits on time, but it's a softer hit. So so the guitar leads in a little bit versus... It's subtle, but it makes a big difference. So what I'm going to do here is, again, because I'm lazy, instead of actually playing the notes, I'm just going to pitch shift it up. If it sounds good, then I won't record the other notes. I'll just pitch shift everything. If it doesn't sound good, then I'll just record it. That works. Yay. Alright, and then solo time, and then that's it. This will take a lot longer than you'd think. That was part one. Went a little faster than I expected as well, but we'll see how the rest goes after I do this. Breezing through, kids. We are breezing through. The other thing I'm doing here that you probably see is I'm dragging the ends and the beginnings of each section a little bit into the next or previous. Excuse me. And the reason that is, it kind of masks the different sections. So when you have one note sort of bleeding into the next, you can't, it's harder to tell. It sounds like a more natural, like all together solo, like it's all in one piece rather than cut up into pieces like it actually is. When you tie these, or, you know, I guess tie them together in a way, it makes it sound like it flows more naturally, like somebody actually played the damn thing all in one go. Or, not perfect, but damn close. Alright, so, oh no! What'd I do? That's not what I wanted. Yeah, so now we're on to the slow part of the solo, and then it's done. So, almost there, boys and girls, and people that don't identify with either, if you're watching. Yeah. Just because it's slower does not mean it's easier. Well, that's the whole slow part. I think this is just going to be double time. Yeah, playback rate 2, not 4. making the full region, which will turn into the actual amount of space and time that this song actually takes up. Alright. And we gotta name the region, so when we render the song, it'll just be named Pustules. So who's ready to hear the finished song? I am. Let's do this. Well, guys, that's a completed song. That is Pustules. That will be on the upcoming album, The Human Disease. As for when that's coming out, I'm not sure. I've only got 3 songs done, but I will possibly take you on another adventure through another song process of writing and recording the whole thing. So, with that being said, have a good day. See you later.